Hi Joe,
Hi, Mark.
thank you for meeting with us today.
Pleasure.
I believe you've had a number of experiences in our healthcare system in recent years. Would you like to share some of those experiences with us?
Yes, thanks, Mark. Things for me, I guess, began in the year 2005. I had an abnormal pap smear that led to a referral to a specialist and a colposcopy and eventually a diagnosis of SIN3. The specialist I had at the time, he gave me the results and virtually tried to put me straight into surgery. Now, for myself, I had actually just recovered from a very difficult pregnancy with my son. I had been hospitalised for a lot of that pregnancy, and I was only 39 years old. I guess he was so strong about it with little explanation, I felt like I needed to take a step back. So I said to him, look, I'd like to just take 6 months and look at some alternative treatment methods. And that doctor actually said to me in no uncertain terms, well, nothing will work, you'll be back. Now for me, I found that very confronting, and I did take that 6 months. His godlike complex, though, made me think, well, yes, I might have to have the surgery, but I'm going to go to a different specialist. I ended up going to a lovely, wonderful specialist who was very kind. He was respectful of my situation. He explained to me exactly what was required and what was happening, and I eventually did have the procedure and also a hysterectomy.
So, what do you think went wrong, Joe, with the first encounter?
I think it was a combination of things. Obviously, for that doctor, he probably encountered multiple similar cases every week. But for me, this was the first time I had encountered anything that sort of had cancer at the end of the line. And so for me, it was like a very life-threatening thing that I had no idea about. So I think it may have been easy for him to explain in medical jargon, but as an average person, I didn't really understand what was going on. And I just think he did not show the care and compassion and the communication so that I understood what was happening.
And do you think that this affects the quality of the care that you receive, this type of encounter?
I think the medical procedure probably would have been the same. So I don't think that is the issue. I think it's more the quality of communication, care, respect, kindness and compassion. Other people that I've spoken to, they have usually never complained about the actual medical procedure, but it's usually the doctor or the nurse or somebody who didn't treat them with respect and care that is what they felt that their complaint would be about.
Yes. So, what do you think of the important messages here for health professionals?
I think the important message is to understand that for most people this is new and that they've never been in this situation before. So they need to take the time to communicate clearly and explain what's happening to the patient. I think from the patient point of view, we also have to have kindness and respect for the medical professionals because obviously they're human beings too. So I think it's a two-way street, and I think both need to show kindness and respect and care in their communication with each other.
So, Joe, tell us a bit more about some positive experiences that you've had as well.
Well, a few years later in 2012, I was 45 and I had a lump appear in my breast. It was about 3 centimetres and it just came out of nowhere. So as a woman, you think breast cancer, you feel immediately that, all the fears of that come to the fore. I actually went for all the tests, mammogram, ultrasounds, and they tried to do a fine needle biopsy, but unfortunately they tried really hard but weren't able to get a sample after 5 attempts. So I did actually have to have surgery, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I did get diagnosed with lymphoma, but I'm grateful that it wasn't breast cancer. My whole process of being diagnosed with lymphoma was a good one. The specialist, the breast surgeon who operated on me, he said he'd only seen one case like that in over 30 years, so it was a bit of an unusual presentation. But he referred me on to a haematologist, and I ended up having chemotherapy over 4 years. And even though after that period of time my veins made cannulas insertion very difficult, they were always very kind and caring.
So you've had 2 brushes with cancer,
Yes,
haven't you?
yes.
So you must have some pretty good ideas about how to cope with cancer. And can you tell us about your feelings during these episodes of cancer diagnosis and treatment?
I guess for anyone, the word has all these connotations. But I think the thing that I want people to understand is that as many years ago, people equated cancer with death. But as we know now, with all the advances in medical treatment, it's not so, with more and more people surviving. But there's no doubt that the impact of cancer is not just on the patient alone. It impacts the family of the patient, the caregivers. A person's whole world is impacted. For me, I was a single mother. I was working very long hours in a career that I didn't particularly want to be doing. But the thing with cancer is it makes you take stock of your life. And for me, I reevaluated what I was doing, and this created in me a whole change in the way I looked at life. I looked at my priorities and changed them, and really thought about what I was here to do. And that's when I started writing again, and why I began writing to create tools to help other cancer patients.
So I believe that you're publishing a book quite soon.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes, thank you. It's called Survive and Thrive: How Cancer Saves Lives. And the aim of the book is to provide first-hand insight into what a cancer journey looks like. I've interviewed people from ages 3 to 76 who've had all different types of cancer, and tried to gain their insights on how they felt, the things that worked well for them, their regrets, and to offer other people who are about to embark on the journey an idea of what it would look like.
And are these real people?
Yes, they're real people.
Oh, okay. And they agreed to talk to you?
Yes.
That's
They've been wonderfully kind in sharing their experiences in order to help other people who are embarking on a journey like that.
Mainly local people?
A lot of them are from the Illawarra, about 80% of them from the Illawarra area.
That's fantastic. Do you expect to make a lot of money out of this book?
Oh, look, my goal is simply to create something that can help as many people as possible. So yeah, that's the aim of what I wanted to do, to fill a gap that I would have loved to have had available to me when I went through the cancer journey.
And hopefully you'll break even.
Hopefully. that would be wonderful.
Yes. And I believe that you're also developing a second tool that can help people who have cancer. Tell us a bit about that.
So I've created a resource which, as soon as someone's diagnosed with cancer, it's a one-stop resource that they can carry around with them. It contains all the tips and hints that I've got in the main book. It has every cancer support organisation in Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, USA, UK, and Canada. And the third part is a My Cancer Journey workbook, where someone can keep in one place everything that is happening to them, such as test results, doctors' appointments, scan results, things like medication. Because I remember through my journey, a doctor would say to me, "When did you have your last scan?" And off the top of my head, of course, I couldn't remember. So I thought having a resource like this is a perfect way to keep everything stored in the one place for easy reference.
So you're saying there was a positive outcome to having cancer?
Definitely. I really believe that in a lot of ways, and I've spoken to other cancer patients who feel the same, that in a way cancer saves your life in terms of helping you really think about what's important to you, and helps you live the life that you always wanted to live, instead of one that's filled with regrets.
Thank you very much for that insight. It's wonderful.